In this video, we're going to talk about a good way to manage a 30-minute swim class for kids in the intermediate swim levels. In the intermediate levels, blue, orange, red, and purple, we only teach kids 3 things: how to swim on your front, how to swim on your back, and how to tread water. And then we combine all 3 so the kids can easily navigate anywhere in the pool they would like. The key to having a really successful intermediate swim class is lots of turns, lots of short quality repetitions to allow the students to recognize patterns of swimming. Now eventually we do want our kids to learn to swim all the way across the pool and become lap swimmers, but that should never be the focus of an intermediate swim class. We're going to spend most of our time in the intermediate swimming out to me and back. Now how far that is going to depend on you as the teacher. Now, let's take a look at how you can break down 30 minutes in the best possible way to have a successful intermediate swim class. Spend the first 10 minutes of class near your students. There are a lot of activities that you can do with your class near the wall that will help them build their confidence, so that way they're going to swim a lot better towards the end of class than in the beginning of class. You can have your students explore the bottom of the pool by touching the bottom and figuring out where that is. You can have your students practice kicking against the wall with their head down. You can have your students practice swimming arm strokes against the wall. You can also help your students understand side breathing right in front of the rest of the class. And this also helps because by demonstrating with one of your students, the other kids are learning as well just by watching you work with one student. And eventually you can just have your students do short swims out to you and back, no more than 10-15 feet, which allows you to stay close enough to your class to respond to an emergency if one of your kids decides to let go of the wall. After you spent the first 10 minutes building their confidence, spend the next 15 minutes, the bulk of your class, helping your students develop a better understanding of how to swim on their front or on their back. As we're working on developing our front crawl to swim all the way across the pool, let's not worry too much about the distance that we're swimming, but rather having a good breathing pattern. Whether you're teaching your students to roll all the way on their back to breathe or to take a side breath, it's not so much about how far they can swim, but whether each breath they take is effortless. And swimming on your back is roughly the same thing. It's not so much about how far you can swim on your back, but it's how long you can stay on your back so that you can breathe whenever you want. Sometimes you may even notice that you can work in the shallow end where all your students can practice swimming at the same time rather than having to practice one at a time. Now we've come to the end of class. Spend the remainder of the class, the last 5 to 7 minutes or so, combining skills together. Swimming on your front, swimming on your back, treading water. One good way to do this is to have your students swim out to an object, try to get the object, and then bring it back to the wall safely on their backs. So remember, the ultimate goal for an intermediate swim class is to help your students easily navigate anywhere in the pool they want by using the combination of swimming on your front, swimming on your back, and treading water. Eventually, your students will be more comfortable swimming laps, which will help prepare them for the advanced levels here at Happy Fish. And just remember that the key to an intermediate swim class is repetition, 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 repetition. Did I say repetition?